Hi! Over 95% of you watching my videos aren't subscribed to my channel. If you like my content and want to see more of it, consider hitting that subscribe button. It's free, and it helps my channel grow, and if the channel grows enough, I'll be able to make more awesome content for you to watch. And now, on to the video. Hey everybody, this is Sir Onion Knight, and today I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on Heavensward. Recently I finished the Heavensward expansion, and, you know, I know that a lot of folks would be interested in getting my thoughts, so I figure, why not? Let's do this, and, you know, I'll let y'all know what I think. Now, that being said, there will be some spoilers. Some of the footage that's going to be used in this video is going to be spoiler-filled, so, if spoilers are not your thing, definitely turn away from this video right now. I will not be warning you again. So, moving on to Heavensward, the moment that you first slay Nidhogg, and you've got Estinien just covered in this crimson blood. Like, it's a moment that is visually appealing and just so awesome to look at. And, you know, it feels like you've kind of approached the end of your journey, right? And then afterwards, though, you notice that that blood is not coming off of the armor. That blood is still there. And you're noticing like this kind of tonal shift in Estinien's just demeanor. To me, I already kind of felt like he was a different character at that point. And then to have that moment when Nidhogg finally takes control of Estinien, and out from Estinien's body, he just transforms into Nidhogg as he finally takes full control of him after Estinien uses those eyes. It's just, you realize that some of the things that was leading up to this makes the most sense. And now Nidhogg is this amazing beast who is now able to also be this badass dragoon that you've been working with this whole time, and now he's your enemy. I'm sitting there thinking, how are you gonna save him, dude? Like, Nidhogg just basically consumed him. But you know what? Alpha Node, just being Alpha Node, he's like, you know what? We gotta find a way to save him. So we go on this adventure to save him. And everything from that story eventually leading up to the defeat of Nidhogg in the raid, it felt amazing. Now the thing with me is I love raid encounters. So this was, in all actuality, my first actual chance to witness a true raid encounter in Final Fantasy XIV. You know, obviously I had all the trials and everything like that before, you know, with the primals and everything, but this one really felt like the true experience because, you know, all of the mechanics and everything, all the different phases that you would go through, I feel like this gives me a good idea of what to expect from later raids in the you know, Final Fantasy XIV expansions, and it filled me with a lot of excitement. Now at the same time, I was doing this in the story on normal, so there was a lot less mechanics to have to worry about compared to, let's say, I did it on extreme. I was actually watching the video for Extreme to prepare for the normal version because I couldn't find a video for the normal version, and that video was about 10 minutes long, and I checked out about 5 minutes in, like mentally, because I couldn't quite grasp and continue to maintain all that knowledge in my head of what I would have to expect. So I'm going to probably have a lot of those moments, and there's going to be a lot of moments that I know that I'm going to have to just kind of jump into the fight and experience it in its, you know, segmented phases, aspects, and everything. You know, work on the fight, clear one phase of it, understand the mechanics of that, move on to the next phase of it, you know, learn the mechanics of that, you know, just kind of do it one step at a time. I'm gonna have to do that. But that being said, you know, it was such an awesome battle. It's visually stunning. Just the phases to go between fighting Nidhogg as the dragon to Nidhogg as the dragoon. It was just wonderful. And then to finally be able to save Estinien, that was a little bit surprising, I'm not gonna lie. So moving on to talk about the ending of the Heavensward expansion here. There's a guy named Griffin, and he is leading some forces to free Alamigo. You know, all this time, you know, after, you know, the fall of Alamigo and everything, they're finally taking it back and everything, and you know, they're taking it to the Imperial scum, those Garlean Imperial punks, you know, getting what they deserve. And so you go to the dungeon content, which is basically the Imperial base, and so you go through this, and you've got a few relatively decent boss fights and everything, but you finally come across Griffin at the very end, and you know, obviously you have slew many Imperial and Grand Company alike. I don't know, were they imposters or whatever, or either way, doesn't really matter. They were there to free Alamigo, and so you go and you slay all these people, and they're slaying each other because, you know, it's a big battle, it's a big war zone, and then you finally best Griffin, and you find out he's actually someone who you have, you know, worked with in the past, who did you wrong at the end of A Realm Reborn. And, you know, he's a big dickhole, and he deserves to get arrested and possibly killed. Who knows? But either way, he somehow was able to acquire Nidhogg's eyeballs. You know, the source of power that turned Estinien into Nidhogg. And he's got these things, and they look like they're frozen, like, you know, I guess when they fell off the bridge, they landed in some water, and somehow someone found them, and he bought them. It's such a kind of weird, far-fetched type of scenario. Part of me is just like thinking, was the dude sitting down at the very bottom of that bridge, like in a river or something like that, and just waiting for the eyeballs to fall? Who knows? Either way, he ended up coming across these eyes, and he's just like, well, you know what? If we're gonna get rid of the Empire, I'm going to make an ultimate sacrifice. And he jumps to his death. He dives to his death, and in his sacrifice uses these eyeballs to summon a powerful primal that is known as Shinryu, and it basically forces Papalymo, who is holding the staff that Louis Swall had. He's got this broken, shattered staff, and he's like, you know what, this still has enough aetheryte power. I know it needs to be done. And so he sacrifices himself to contain this beast. In that time, Ida's trying to stop him and get him to, you know, not sacrifice himself. And she's like, I'm not leaving you. And, you know, Thancred looks at Papalymo, and Papalymo looks at him, and they're like, nod at each other. And Thancred jumps off the ship and runs at Ida, picks her up, throws her on the ship and everything, and they fly off. Ida's pissed off and everything, and Papalymo's like, I'm gonna do this shit, and he sacrifices himself, which leads to this whole ordeal. You end up going to collect Omega, and you know, they use Omega to battle the Shinryu, and then next thing you know, the Shinryu and Omega disappeared. You lose control of Omega, and Ida's tattoo on her neck disappears. This tattoo on her neck is supposed to signify someone who is like the master of something. I vaguely remember it because I looked into it a little bit after the fact to figure out what that tattoo symbolized. And luckily, you know, I didn't really want it spoiled for me, but I was lucky to come across some Reddit articles that didn't spoil it, but they just said what the tattoo signified and kind of left it at that and said, you'll understand what happened in the following cutscenes. So I continue watching the cutscenes, come to find out Ida is not Ida, it's Ida's little sister, and she has been kind of going along with the charade that everyone apparently knew about except for me, because I never met her, but everybody apparently knew about it except for me, but they just kind of went along with it, I guess just to make her feel good. I don't know. But apparently Ishtola at least knew about it. But yeah, apparently the fact that that tattoo disappeared signified that Papa Limo had passed, like his aether had basically evaporated, I guess, from the realm. So that was probably one of the deaths in the game that actually kind of made me a little bit sad, because Papa Limo is in there from like the very beginning. He is, you know, someone that you met in A Realm Reborn and had worked with, and you know, he had a little bit of a few plot lines that you shared with him. You know, at that point, you know, it's understandable to be a little bit sad about that. So that kind of jerked my heart and threw it into a freaking river, which hopefully will be also recovered by some random character that was introduced at the end of A Realm Reborn and used to summon a primal, because that would be kind of cool. But yeah, that ends up kind of setting the scene for moving on to the next expansion, and so that's kind of where I'm at now. I do plan to stream more of me playing through it, even if I'm doing it kind of in a non-interactive kind of way at some point, you know, and just kind of chilling out and everything. I do plan on streaming some more, and, you know, just kind of compiling my thoughts about, you know, just everything going on moving forward, just so that way I can at least chronicle this a little bit easier, because this was actually a really difficult video to make for me. The fact that I don't have a lot of real footage to work with, except for the story content and everything like that you can access through the inn. It kind of sucks. I didn't have a whole lot to kind of look back at and reflect other than those cutscenes. So I want to do a little bit better moving forward. But, you know, these were my thoughts on Heavensward. To kind of wrap things up a little bit, I'll just say, you know, I do think that the game is wonderful. I'm having a great time with it. I'm enjoying the story and the bits and pieces that really click with me, because honestly, you know, just like any other game, it's going to have its slow moments, but this game, you know, when it picks up and it starts to kind of really push the story further, it really does so in a really remarkable way. So I'm looking forward to the next, you know, couple expansions and Endwalker in November. Eventually I'm hoping to be able to put down my pre-order for Endwalker, if all starts kind of falling into place here for me. But yeah, I'm looking forward to making more of this reaction to the game type content, I guess. I don't know. As you could probably tell, I'm not the greatest public speaker in the world, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. If there's any questions you guys have for me, feel free to ask them in the comments. I appreciate all the support that you guys have been giving me over the last couple weeks. both here on YouTube and over on Twitch. I've had some very fun live streams, and I'm even playing, you know, dungeon content with viewers over on Twitch when I do my dungeon content. So if you guys are interested in jumping in and playing with me, you know, feel free to come and stop by on Twitch. Otherwise, if you just want to come and hang out, more than welcome to as well. But yeah, this has been Surround Night, and you guys have a great day and or night. And I'll see you guys in the next video.